What's a prophet? According to many nowadays, it's somebody who predicts the future, who can tell you stuff about you. But isn't that a fortune teller? Actually, when you look at the Bible, you notice that prophets had two main functions. The first was to reveal truth about God, his truth to his people. Think of Moses writing the Pentateuch, all of God's law for his people. Even the prophets telling them about the coming Messiah. And Paul, mandated by the Spirit, he told us, what is this new covenant? How does it work? What is the church? That's what they were doing. There's another function though, a second one, which is what you could call a court prosecutor. They were telling the people, you were in rebellion and need to be punished. You see that all through the prophets. Even Paul, in a sense, when he talks to the Galatians and Corinthians and others, you're wrong and you need to be corrected. Yeah, but didn't they also predict the future? Sure, but that was to authenticate their message. It wasn't the main point. God would give specific prophecies about what would happen in specific ways, like Daniel does and Isaiah and others, hundreds of years before. And when it happened just like he said, they will recognize this is God's message. We should listen. It wasn't all nebulous and unrecognizable. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe they're wrong, which is what we see nowadays actually by so-called modern prophets. Yeah, and then by the way, there were prophets in the New Testament for a specific reason. Because the canon was being written piece by piece and wasn't finished yet, every individual church needed somebody to tell them, what is the church? What does it mean? How do we follow God now that the law doesn't exist for us? That's what the prophets were there. And so that's why when you look at history, you realize that around the end of the century, when the canon was put together and already being shared throughout the local churches, prophets started disappearing more and more. Now, feel free to disagree, but go check it out for yourself, historically speaking, and in God's word. And you will see that is what a prophet was all about.